Madam President-elect Maryam Rajavi, your leadership continues to guide this movement. I am honored to speak here today with you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Distinguished guests, activists, members of the Iranian American community, and all those joining us today online, it's a privilege to be with you at this truly historic gathering. And this isn't just a convention. This is the demonstration of a political reality that the Iranian people not only reject dictatorship, but already have a democratic alternative capable of replacing it. I've stood with this movement before in the front of the United Nations in New York and earlier this year in Rome, where I spoke on a panel at the International Free Iran Summit 2025, a summit where Mrs. Maryam Rajavi delivered the keynote address. And I say this with full confidence. The National Council of Resistance of Iran is not a theory. It is not an opposition on paper. It is a government in waiting, backed by a movement that has survived prison, executions, terrorism, and exile, and yet stands stronger than ever. We just heard the battle cry for this movement in the beautiful music just played. And we're no longer in the phase of the regime asking if this regime will change. No, the regime is losing control. We are now in the phase of highlighting the force for change and determining who is prepared to lead the nation when it does. Inside Iran, the regime is hanging young protesters, it's executing political prisoners, and launching new waves of repression, not from strength, but from fear. And now, for the first time in years, the international pressure is returning as well. The snapback mechanism has been activated, restoring UN sanctions that the regime thought it had escaped. Tehran is once again cornered, economically, politically, and diplomatically. The walls are closing in, not because of foreign armies, but because of the courage of the Iranian people and the persistence of the resistance that never surrendered. The Iranian regime spends tremendous time and energy demonizing one force above all others, the NCRI and the MEK. It doesn't fear exiled monarchs. It doesn't fear lobbyists. It does not fear those waiting for change to happen. It fears the MEK because this movement is organized. It has leadership. It has structure. It has a clear political program, and it has resistance units within Iran who are focused on confronting the Revolutionary Guards and repressive forces, and they're already preparing for a transition of power. A regime does not wage a disinformation campaign against an idea. It only fears what it sees as an existential threat. And the threat is this movement, the movement gathered right here in this room. It's all of you. And let me speak plainly about what the world must stop pretending. There's no path forward for Iran through some form of dictatorship. Neither is maintaining part of the current theocracy or the restoration of the monarchy. The Iranian people rejected dictatorship 46 years ago under the Shah, and they're not going back. That chapter of history is closed. Iran will not trade a turban for a crown. The real alternative doesn't come from nostalgia, foreign influence, or from inherited titles. A real alternative comes from sacrifice, from struggle, and from the legitimacy earned in the streets, in the prisons, and in the hearts of the people. And that alternative is the National Council of Resistance of Iran. I've met Mrs. Miriam Rajavi multiple times. I've asked her questions, I've listened to her vision, and I've seen her leadership. And although I haven't yet visited Ashraf 3, personally, I've studied what's been built there, and I know what it represents. A living example of what the Iranian resistance is capable of when it is free from the regime's violence. The future of Iran is pluralistic, it's modern, and it's rooted in universal values. One of the defining features of this movement, and one that terrifies the mullahs, is the central role of women. Not as symbols, not as supporters, but as leaders. The only revolution in the Middle East led by women is the Iranian resistance. In a regime built on gender oppression, the alternative is led by women and powered by thousands of women who command political offices and international campaigns. History will record this fact. When Iran rises, it will rise under the leadership of its daughters. Look around this room. This isn't theory. This is not exiled nostalgia. This is political capacity. This movement has everything it needs: the brightest people, utmost commitment, the unmatched track record, and the visionary and viable leadership. More than 1,000 people, experts, scholars, organizers, doctors, former political prisoners, activists, and the young generation are united here behind this message. NCRI and Iran has an alternative that has both the capacity and the intent to bring change in Iran. NCRI has leadership. Iran now has leadership. NCRI has a plan. Iran has that plan. The 10-point plan for a democratic, secular, non-nuclear republic. NCRI, Iran, they have a plan for transition after the fall of the mullahs, leading to a representative government. And that is why today matters. Because you are not asking the world to invent a solution, you are showing that the solution already exists. To all of you, you are showing that Iran does not need foreign boots on the ground or expropriation of money. You are the plan. And it's long past time for democratic governments to recognize the right of the Iranian people to overthrow this regime, hold Tehran accountable for the crimes against humanity, to stop legitimizing the regime through giving them concessions, and acknowledge that the NCRI is the legitimate representative of the Iranian people's struggle for freedom. Appeasement has failed. Reform is impossible. The only path to stability in Iran and in the region is the victory of the Iranian people and their organized resistance in ending the rule of theocracy in Iran. So let us say clearly and confidently, no to dictatorship, no turban, no crown. Yes to a democratic republic. Yes to the leadership of women in future Iran. Yes to the resistance units within Iran who are risking everything. Yes to the people of Iran who are closer to victory than ever before. And to those fighting in the prisons in Iran, in the streets, and in the resistance centers across the world, I say, we see you, we honor you, and we stand with you. Thank you. Until Iran is free.